Hey everybody, it's Tessa here to show off my Fast2Fab vacation album. Give it a second for everybody to find me. If you're watching, give me a thumbs up or say hello. I think I can see the comments on my phone. And let me know if you can see my album. I think I have it centered up on the mount. You should be able to see the full cover. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. So this has been something on my list to do for a while. So a lot of you know that I love to do Fast2Fab albums for vacations. And in the past, we've had a lot of interest of people curious to know kind of how they work, what they are. And so I finally got this album completed, and I promised that I would come back and show it off a little bit. So for those of you new to Creative Memories, Megan and I are both Creative Memories advisors. We pretty much use Creative Memories products exclusively. And one reason why we are so loyal are the quality of the albums and the pages. So let me first show you my custom covers. So most of us just order albums from Creative Memories. They have plain, they have embossed book cloth, but you can also make custom album covers. And a lot of people do these if they want to add photos or something to their cover. This is a cover that I had designed. I had a free coupon. I didn't really know what I would use it for. I didn't have a vacation planned, but I went ahead and designed a cover and I ordered it and actually gave it away. And it was themed with the Vitamin Sea digital collection. And so after I did this vacation, which you'll see is on the Vitamin Sea Fast2Fab pages, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back and use that same cover and just customize it again a little bit more and use it for this album. So once you've made a digital project in Creative Memories, it saves to your account. So I was able to go in and duplicate the one I had made previously, and then I was able to customize it. And you can see down here I added the words at Spring Break 2021. This was all digital art that I added to the cover. And then one nice thing on the spines is you can add digital artwork to the spine. So I was able to add the palm trees embellishment, and then we went to Panama City, and this is Spring Break 2021. And then you can also customize the back of them. You can add artwork, you could add words. You can see again, I didn't use any photos. Even if I'm not sure I would have added photos, I've seen some great albums where people do like a full photo on the front, especially if you have scenic photos. It would be a fun option. So it looks like a lot of you found me, so thank you for joining me. If you have questions, you can put them on the feed. I'll try to watch them also. And then I have my laptop pulled up here. I keep waiting. Oh, I can see that I'm on there. I can see that I'm live. It's just going to be a little bit of a delay, but I will try to get to your questions too. So let's talk about Fast2Fab pages. So Creative Memories does strap hinge albums. So if you use our pages, you use our top loading sleeves, you're getting a page that has a staple and they strap hinge into the albums that you can see here. Fast2Fab, and you'll see that abbreviated F2F, means that the pages are coming pre-printed with a set of design on them, and they also come with page protectors. When we first were introduced to Fast2Fab, it was during a period of Creative Memories actually called Ani and Zoe, and I was not real warm to them because they didn't offer any embellishments, paper, anything to go with the pages. You pretty much had the pages, some of it had some mats, so you didn't have much to embellish with them. Now the Fast2Fab pages that they have will coordinate with one of our collections, so you have a lot more that you can bring to the album and add to it. So now for vacations, I only use Fast2Fab pages. I feel like it gives me a great base, it gives me a jump start, and I get my albums done a lot quicker. I love to travel, and so we often go on sometimes I have 3 trips a year, so I cannot spend a full year on an album. I will never get it done. So this was our spring break of 2021. We went to Panama City, so I thought Fast2Fab would be perfect to work with them. So what you're going to see are the Vitamin Sea Fast2Fab pages. They are still available from Creative Memories. This is the title page I did. This was actually a border I did for Creative Life Scrapbooking post one time, and I added it here. I will go through and show you what was printed and what I added. So on this page, I added this border, but this is all printed And I added the border I already had made. And then these are white monogram letters. If you can see, it says Spring Break. These are old Creative Memories letters. And then again, old letters, Panama City Beach 2021. I have a Cricut and I'm really bad about using it. I'm really lazy when it comes to titles. So I just use a lot of sticker letters. So let's walk through a little bit. Again, on this page, this is all printed on here. I only added this border. I punched the On the Road border maker twice. I added the journal box and the mats, and that's it. The page was done. So whenever I approach a Fast to Fab project, I always power layout my photos out first. So I get all my photos, I get them in order of each day of the vacation. Then I get my pages and I get a power layout box. And I sort through. So my first pass is just to go through and see which pictures I want on the page. And then I come back through and start adhering them down with mats. If I know there's a certain embellishment or border I want to add, I go ahead and do it. But I don't get stuck in the details. I usually do a couple of waves through the book. On this page, this wavy here I cut with a decorative trimmer. It's the only thing I added. This is printed, this was printed, and then I got some dark green cardstock and added large mats for the photos, some embellishments, a couple of the stickers. These are from the must-have titles. I tucked a little journal box in here telling a little bit about the story. You can see, especially on vacation, I don't crop a lot of the photos. They're usually so scenic, and I leave them big because they fill the page, and then I don't have as much room I feel like I have to decorate. This is also pre-printed. This page I had a little bit more fun on because we went to this place called Pineapple Willie's. We had just come out with the pineapple punch from Creative Memories, so of course I had to grab that and make that. And then I wanted to kind of recreate the feel of his hair. And so this is the grass border maker punch that I actually tucked in behind one of the circles. You'll notice in my layouts, I tend to cluster my photos. I think that's one of the key to a simple, clean design is I leave most of my photos straight edge and I butt them up together. You know, these are just all pushed up together, and then it just leaves me a little bit of space to work on. I can tuck in my journal box here, a little bit of embellishment. And then to duplicate kind of what I did with the journal box, I just did a half circle here for this photo on the mat, a little embellishment, and the page is done. This page, I added the border I punched down here, but this is all printed. This actually comes as a white banner here. So it's a ready-made, you know, basically saying here, embellish right here. I layered some stickers. I chose, I think this is Shell Shimmer for my mats, kind of creates a little bit monochromatic, pops the photos out. I don't mat a lot of photos actually on my layouts, except when I do Fast to Fab, because so much of the work is already done. I don't mind a little bit extra effort to pop out some of my photos. This was cut out of the center of one of the variety mats. This was a variety mat I cut in half, a little bit extra border piece that I put down here. We had perfect weather, which lent to perfect pictures. This page was printed with the grid and this blue, so I added this strip of print, and I added these punched down here, the kissing fish and the waves. This is actually, this pink was on here. So I added the border, added that border. I added a paper here. And then this was a variety mat, and I just banner cut the end and layered it on here. And this sticker and the words were all printed on the Vitamin Sea mat. A little bit of embellishment. Sometimes you'll notice I do big mats. Sometimes I do 2 photos on a mat or 3 photos. And then I like to get a lot of photos, and I would rather have more photos than not. And so sometimes I'm just trying to figure out how I can fit them all on the page. And so for this one, especially when you have a grouping and they're all similar, I just want to kind of capture the action and the waves. I cut 5 out of the same size circle and layered them on here. This is all printed on here. The only thing I added on this page were stickers and embellishments, and this for the mat. And this is kind of funny. I always try to include pictures that tell the story. The girls were so excited to play beach volleyball. They were playing all the time. And I got so bruised up. Like by the second or third day, I was like, I cannot hit the volleyball anymore. My arms were just killing me. I don't know if that happens when you get older or what, because I played volleyball in high school. This page had I don't remember what was under here, but I added these corners. I think it was a different pattern. Yeah, it was this kind of the rattan pattern. I wanted to maintain this two-tone feel with the peachy and the blue, and so I added in the dark sea green large triangles. So if you don't like something on a page, just cover it up, cut a similar size, cover it up. And then to make the borders stretch out, you'll notice I cut them in half, 2 sections, and layered them on each side. And then this is just a mat, butted up my photos together. Pretty easy. This is all printed, so I added a sticker, I added the mat, I added this mat, and then the titles. Again, a monochromatic feel with the shell shimmer. I just punched the border. I used a little bit of I think this is a decal edge to cut my mats out of the shimmer. This is all printed. The green, pink, blue, that's already on the page. Some old CM stickers. Again, this is all printed, the whole border edge. So the inside was just the dot. So I added some mats to pop out some of the photos. And a little corner accent. I put the little oval down here, so I made sure I accented up here to create a little bit of balance. This is a variety mat I cut down just to fit in the size of the space that I had. We were there over Easter. So we spent Easter hiking around the park, and then we had our little Easter lunch with ham sandwiches. And you'll see Campbell carried her Pineapple Willie cup around the entire time. So this is all printed. I journaled directly on the page here. This banner was printed, so I added, I think it was white under here, and I didn't want the white popping out, so I just cut the print, the tonal paper to match, and put one of the old Creative Memory stickers on there. This came off of a mat. So in one of the mats I probably cut down previously and made smaller, I cut off this border section to put on here. And a little bit of green kind of offers a matting and a place to journal. Again, you'll notice, I just got 5 photos. I butted them up. I cut them the same size. And that only leaves me a little bit of room. I put in a little bit of a border, laser border I cut in half. But this is all printed. This, I think, was a leftover piece I had from something else. And sometimes when I have these pieces of scraps or leftovers, I'll go through my book at the end and just see, is there any space I can go ahead and put in a little bit extra element. And then some old stickers with a new sticker. And I added the navy in underneath there. This was a border punch. So usually when I do a book, I will go through and pull out a few punches that I think will work and then try to repeat them. So you notice I have sunshine, I have waves, seashells, and you'll see some of them repeated throughout. This, you'll notice the dots are the same. So these are the same pages. And the page was printed with these colors over here. But when I started to do this layout, this side of it, we were changing gears, changing events. And I wanted to use this mat, which had the navy. And so I covered up this blue with this dark blue. A little embellishment. I can't remember where we were. I still need to go ask Emerson so I can journal that. This was a printed green, but I wanted to add in the navy. These are real thin strips. Tucked in a little bit of border maker, journal directly on the page. No mats. Same concept over here, a little bit of border. Nothing fancy. A little bit of embellishment. Keep my embellishment clustered. You'll notice I have open space. Don't feel like you have to fill in all your open space. If you keep your stuff clustered together, your eye actually appreciates having a little bit of open space to relax. I do not remember what I think this actually, once I get the protectors on, I think I have some Peekaboo Pockets that this will be a flip, but I didn't put the protectors on before the video because I didn't want the glare of the plastic. So this is going to be several Peekaboo Pockets. This was a mat I cut down some border. This is all printed down here. And this was a mat, and I just added a little strip of the footprints border maker. So you get the idea, every now and then I'll add in a little bit more element. We went to Dippin' Dots, and so I cut out some circles just out of scraps of some of the blues, tucked them in behind the photos, give it a little bit of matting effect. The stickers came with it. Just extra pieces of stuff I had cut down here, the navy. Pretty simple here. I think I'm still waiting. I'm pretty sure I have some rainbow kite stickers. I've yet to find them. So this page is a little bit undone because I know one of these days I'm going to find the stickers that I think I have to go with these pictures. And then I will figure out a little bit of journaling for the kite that Cooper played with. But this was, I love this because there's so much blue in the sky contrasting it against the green of the page. I did add this blue strip down here. You can see, oh, and I added this too. Okay, so I added a little bit more. What's underneath here? This is, it was green leaves, and I wanted a little bit more beachy feel, so I covered up those. You can see with the consistency, especially when you have a project, all your photos have the same theme. Fast to Fab truly is a way to go because the theme, the collection fits through the entire book. You can customize it, you can add to it, cover it up if you don't want to, but it just gives you such a head start of having stuff on your page. And pages like this where you have a thin border, it kind of tells you where to put your photos. On here, I didn't put them as close together. I spaced them out a little bit, but I did very consistent spacing. So the bottom print shows through and kind of creates a matting effect without having to mat. You'll notice there's not a ton of journaling here towards the end. I mean, how many things can you say about being on the beach? It's perfect weather. I added the green paper here. It was already printed here, so I cut a little bit more to balance out down here. The Beloved Palm Tree Punch was a promo punch I've used in this book. I added in the pink. You can see that the pictures really take up most of the space. Same idea, you know, use your photos, the mats, the same size, just create grids, clean lines, old stickers, new stickers. Oh, I had some fun with the shutter punch here towards the end. You know, sometimes I was running, the Vitamin Sea embellishments are only these foliage things. The stickers have a little bit of stuff. But at the end, I wanted to add something besides foliage. And so I got out my shutter punch. Just pick a punch that kind of goes with it and punch it out of the papers that you're using for this set. It makes easy, quick embellishments. Got a little shutter happy here. Added in the dark blue wave paper down here. Added in a little bit of swell. And I did my photos first. So once I put my photos down, I can kind of see, you know, how much space do I have left? Do I want to add anything else? I'll print it up here. So only adding the border, adding a sticker. Same, you've noticed this concept they've repeated, you know, that they have the border on the edge. You can put everything in the middle, cluster it together, accent a little bit on the edges. On this page, I popped out, you know, Emerson wanted to do a little photo shoot on the beach for sunset. Have all these different poses of her, so I had to narrow it down to 6. I probably had 50, and then matted them on navy to pop them out. Added in borders down here. You can see they continue to play volleyball. I did not. I watched. My arms were done. Added in some sticker. The shutter punch comes back in because I'm running out of things. Make my own. This is all printed. So the only thing added to these pages are the shutters in the photos. This one was fun. I just, I had this extra space. So this is a laser border maker. I just cut strips of it and filled in the space. Like I said, I had nothing else to journal by this point. Sometimes you don't want to just have blank space, just fill it in with different borders, cut out of the papers that go with the set. And then I did edge this one. I added in this pink. I cut it with the decal edge and framed a little bit more in so I could have the two-tone color scheme. This was a border Megan has posted, and I had made one side, I think I did it at an event, and so I duplicated, made another one and stuck them on this page. So if I ever do a border or something with a collection, I keep with the collection, and then sometimes when I go back and do Fast to Fab, I go ahead and try to integrate them, same as that border I did on the very first title page. Added in just some stuff to fill in the space. Cooper did not like having his picture taken. That's why he's not in a lot of the photos. And we get here towards the end again, I just start filling in space. This is all border maker. This is all printed. Border maker, print, no, I added paper. Added a sticker. Shutters, I even got out some of the jewels. I added in this wave. Again, these were just, by the time I get to the end of it, this is probably left over from something. This is one of the must-have titles, so I made a little banner to frame it on. Added a border punch. This was extra paper. I put down here to fill in the, let's see what I covered up. It's green foliage, and I didn't want green foliage at the beach at night, so I covered it up with blue. And over here, as we start driving home, again, I think I covered up the foliage. Yeah, I covered it up with the blue and the on the road because we were driving back. And then back here, I have a couple blank pages. My son was on spring break with his girlfriend at the same time, and I know I printed photos. I know I printed them. I just can't find them. They're somewhere in the house. So I will add his vacation here at the end, and that's into my book. So I love it. I think it's beautiful. It was pretty fast. So how much time did it take me? It usually takes me the longest to actually get the photos printed, and then I power laid out them here at home with the pages, and then I had gone out to visit Megan, and I took a few days and I had done quite a bit of it there, and came home and sat down one day, and then, like I said, I usually work in waves where I'll do what I can and I go back through. So some of the extra stuff I might have added might have come in at the end when I just know I'm done journaling, I'm out of embellishments, what I want to add, and then go through and make sure there's anything else I need to journal or title. And like I said, again, with vacations, a lot of times you're just repeating the same stuff, so you don't have as much to journal on that. So all in all, how long did it take me to do it? I would say probably 7 days. Now, those aren't full days. That's, one day I power layout, and I had a few days when I was visiting Megan that we scrapbooked a fair amount, probably equivalent to being to a weekend retreat half the time, because we did go out to dinner and had some other stuff going on. And then I finished it up at a retreat. And so I sat pretty solidly for probably a day and a half finishing it up. So all in all, if you're going to a weekend retreat and you power lay out before you go, you really can get through most of a Fast to Fab before you get done with the weekend. And they're pretty, so like, why do you want to spend an hour on every page when you can start with something that's already gives you a head start? You just go through and add to it. You get your photos on first and you see what kind of space is left. So like I said, I only do vacations now with Fast to Fab. And so anytime I go on a vacation, that's kind of the fun part. It's like, okay, what pages am I going to use for this trip? This is a book I don't quite have done. I'll go ahead and give you a peek of it. So I don't have the spine in because I'm not done working on it. This was a trip we took in 2017 to Williamsburg. So if any of you have vacation albums or albums you just cannot get done, and this is my book. I've tried to work on it several times. I was hoping to get it done before this, but I tend to try to work on, when I have big blocks of time, like going to see Megan, I want to try to get a whole project done. In this book, I'm really down to the final embellishment and journaling, and that needs to be at home. I do not journal very well around other people. And so I just need to sit down one of these days and do it. So these were on genuine Fast to Fab pages. They are gone now, and I filled in with some of these are genuine mats and then the automobiles stuff. But this book has even less embellishment. Some old punches. A lot of colonial pictures. This is just all printed. I'm to the point with this book, I don't even care. I'm probably going to go through and finish journaling and just call it done. like I said, you'll see some embellishment and stickers because when I make the pass the first time, if I see something like I know I want to do, I'll go ahead and add it. And if I don't, I just move on. And that's why some of the pages don't have stuff, because I just didn't have anything in the moment. Nothing added here, just some paper. Nothing added here. These are literally just the photos. I need a journal. I added this strip of paper, but otherwise this is all printed on here. One thing I like about the Fast2Fabs as opposed to just using the tonal papers and prints is you tend to get a little bit better neutral base in the Fast2Fab pages of papers and backgrounds that you don't get in the paper set. You know, like this was not a paper that came in the genuine paper pack. Those neutral bases, which I really like. You know, this is just such a neutral base. It goes with the tone. It's not stark. It's not a white page to fill. Even though I love Spargo, it just adds a little bit of texture, a little bit of print. I don't feel like I have to fill the space. This is all printed. And sometimes if I know I had Americana, which was an old paper pack that I knew I wanted to use a little bit, and so I just covered up the paper here with Americana. This is at Yorktown, so I wanted to use a little bit more patriotic there. It's amazing how often the pages kind of line up with the photos, and that's part of why I lay them out, to make sure I'm kind of landing on colors that work with the photos. You know, if I need to do a layout out of order, I can switch something around if it makes sense with the printed, but overall it mostly works. So this is kind of my next thing to do. This is the thorn in my side, is to get this book done, and then I will move on to our vacation in 2020. We went out west, so I have a lot of photos. I need to get that vacation done before we go again this summer. We're going back out to do several of the national parks. So any questions? I've been looking at the comments. Thank you for telling me they're pretty. It is good inspiration. So if you have a vacation, or anytime Fast2Fab pages come out when we release a collection, I look at them. And anything, I take a lot of outdoor vacations. So anything that I think will lend itself to outdoors, I go ahead and order pages. And I have a whole shelf, actually, Fast2Fab pages, because I might not have the project right now that wants the pages, but I might want it later. Other themes, I don't collect like when we do Electric Summer, like I know I'm not ever going to use those for a whole vacation, so I don't order them. I just order the ones that I know use. And then every year in my family books, I use one pack of Christmas Fast2Fab pages. So from pretty much after Thanksgiving, once the tree goes up and decorating, everything in my book goes on to the Christmas Fast2Fab for December. So my December pages are actually some of the easiest to do because I just put them all on those. I have a big family, so I end up with a lot of Christmas pages. So have any of you guys used Fast2Fab? Amanda's telling me she has Sunkissed. That would be a pretty one to use. For sure, if you travel or you have a theme. The other books that I've done Fast2Fab that aren't travel are kind of like heritage photos I used for my grandma's books. Like the muted, genuine pages, and we had some daily docket pages, kind of rustic, basic tonal colors. I've also, let me see if I should have pulled out this other album. Hold on. Let me see if I can grab it without knocking everything over. Actually, I don't know if I'll be able to. I'm probably going to knock over my light. This was a book I did. I love. It's my siblings' weddings. And it starts out on black pages, and then I got Fast2Fab pages. And so each of my siblings has a Fast2Fab set that I used. So they got like 9 pages each to do their wedding photos in this one book. And this was actually a set for graduation. It was the graduate, and it worked really well with her black and gold wedding pages. And then I used an old set, love set for my brother. This was a set actually that came out of Ani and Zoe, so there was no paper set or anything that went with it, and so I just had to use some cardstock and get some punches and kind of make my own embellishments. But again, very simple pages, letting the photos and the mats do all the work. And then Yeah, my last brother I did not use. There were Fast2Fab pages available, but I didn't have them. I would have had to buy them on the secondary market, and I already had the paper, and so I kind of pieced together my own Fast2Fab concepts for his wedding. So that's one of my favorite books. You asked me about the Heritage book. I know I can't get to the Heritage book, but it honestly looks a lot like the Williamsburg book. It's just those pre-printed pages and photos from my grandma's farm. So they're not like 40s, like old time photos. They're her life photos, which are getting to be a little bit vintage for me, right? Like 70s, 80s type of stuff. Yeah, so I will, this will stay in the feed, so you can continue to comment on it if you have any questions, if you need any recommendations for trips that you're using. If you do travel, I recommend looking through every Fast2Fab set of pages that comes out. And if you think that it will go with a trip in your future, watch for that collection when it goes the last chance. Make sure you have some of the pages in your stash, because you really will get your albums done pretty fast. Yeah, for those of you joining late, at the beginning of this, you can go back and listen. I talked about this custom cover, how I did that, so you can go back and watch the beginning. And you can resize all the digital stuff in the Creative Memories program if you decide to do a custom cover. There's no commitment to creating a cover. You can create something, you can go in there and play with it and just leave it sit in there. You don't have to add it to your cart. And if you do decide to do a custom cover or customized spines, just save them in your account, and then next time there's a Black Friday promo or something where you have to spend so much, you can order that custom cover or the spines then. If you want to do your spines and we have one of those $150 spends, get all this free, that's 15 spines, right? The custom covers are $59.50, so they are more than the regular ones, but sometimes I think they're worth it for how much we're spending on these albums anyways. And if you can put that $59.50 towards a buy promo, you're getting a lot back free on it. So you are not cheating with Fast2Fab. I think you're just being efficient, because unless some of us get to the point where we're truly caught up, and I know some of you exist where you're like, I don't have any photos of scrapbook. I will never live in that world. I'll always have projects to do. And so for me, I'm doing myself a favor, because I need to get the album done while I actually have a little bit of memory with what we did. And that's the hard part about the Williamsburg book. It's like, I don't remember anymore. I really do try to get my vacations done as soon as possible so that I remember as much detail in it. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. If you have any other questions, you can go ahead and just pop them into the feed. I hope it inspires you a little bit to use Fast2Fab. If you have created a Fast2Fab album and you want to share some of your pages with us, you're welcome to post them to the feed in the group. I also did a Creative Life scrapbooking post in the summer that shows some of these Vitamin C, kind of the before and after. I showed the page and then showed the after, so you can see how it looked basic. And I will share that post back into this group too, so you can see that. Also, we are starting to come out with a little bit more Fast2Fab papers. Like we have a set in Party Time. The Secret Box just came out, the Fast2Fab paper set, and it's kind of a similar feeling where it just gives you a head start, but you don't have a full sheet of some dominant print, or just gives you a good design start, I should say. So, all right, well, thanks for joining me. Let's catch you all later. See ya.